Alright, it is me again. Yeah, it's video time. Yay! Really don't have time for this crap. Probably going to do a stick ham later. But I'll probably take some breaks. I don't know how I'll work it out. Maybe I'll do an hour on, an hour off, or something. This has got way too much to get done the next 2 days. Horrific. Anyway, we got this guy, Untempered Steel. Kind of a bold name for kind of mush. And then English Goat the guy again. Yeah, he's named after some depressed English guy. Anyway, yeah, it was such a... I'm not going to bother playing this guy's video because it's just crap. I mean, 40 minutes of crap. At the beginning was really annoying because he goes into this whole this portrait of Gary. And it's like, who are you to say who I am? Yeah, I've allowed some facts about my life to be revealed. Big deal. To imply that those circumstances have something to do with the philosophy being articulated is really lame in the first place. To take the authority to play like that with my character and who I am. I mean, I could do that to you. I mean, I could just call you a mecophile. Yeah, you're a mecophile. And, you can't really make it, as a physical human. So you've decided to play little bookie games and gain all of your perspective in terms of your self-esteem through just acquiring, titles. I mean, we could just play games like that. And since that becomes your whole life, it's like a little video game. And all you know is authors and titles and words that go nowhere, that mean nothing, that say nothing, that just spin in circles. So what's the point of that crap? Actually go into your childhood or something. I've also, I've stated in my videos that essentially the philosophy I have now is the one I acquired soon after my arrival on Earth. The first conscious moment I remember was one of not complete satisfaction, of bizarre, like an alien arriving on a planet and being thawed from their frozenness, and they show up and they say, "Where the hell am I?" That was sort of my first conscious moment, was one of bizarre, what? And everything I found out about this crap hole was discouraging. Every question I asked was answered with absolute nonsense. I mean, I heard the answers coming out of these people that I was supposed to respect, and I did love. But I couldn't accept their statements were just, what? There's a what up where? Doing what? How? What? What? No, just not even close to good enough. And everything sucks here because we're not supposed to know what's going on? Somehow we're supposed to be left clueless? Huh? Anyway, so the founding of my philosophy was in the fact that I didn't have any alternative philosophy, and so the truth became quite obvious very early. And maybe it was the truth that incidentally caused the rest of the problems with my psychology. Maybe it's the fact that I had nothing to hope for, and nothing to hold on to, and nothing to validate. Where I found out that everything about me, all the selfishness, all the crap, was garbage, was shit, and that somehow I'm supposed to navigate a world where I'm supposed to gain success, but I'm supposed to do it in such a subtly sneaky way where I somehow can make myself still feel like I wasn't a cheater and a fucking asshole, but somehow I still win. Yeah. Well, that plan was impossible. Anyway, later in this video, he says some crappy nonsense about the economy's going to get better in 2 years and some other kind of bullshit. It's just such silliness. Yeah, if the rich are willing to give up more than half of their wealth to just write it off and say, oh, it's okay, destroy it with inflation or destroy it, just let the government tax it out of my pocket. If you think that's going to happen, then you're a silly person. They're going to try to cling to that money and that ownership, and it ain't going to be pretty. So, yeah, no, that ain't going to happen, fella. And there ain't going to be any graceful exit out of this economic disaster. So anyway, you're just wrong on every account. And, yeah, that's what I say to you. I give you the flick of my finger. Alright, this other guy, let's open his video and we'll try to play bits of it. But alright, now what he goes on about. First, he just completely misparaphrases antinatalism. So I mean, his argument is that, oh yeah, well, there's some positive aspects to these moderate antinatalists. They just play games with the whole philosophy. And so again, it's this comparison to Buddhism. Will demonstrate to me how Buddhism has improved the world one tiny, tiny little bit. How Buddhism has solved the problem. Their solution is idiotic. Keep chasing the, keep producing, people, keep, you know, doing what you're doing. Keep chasing your nirvana through complete, unnatural, silly, eccentric, nonsensical, acquisition of a mental perspective that has no reality. I mean, how many people are realistically going to be able to so discipline their brain that even when they have a brain tumor, they'll just say, oh, that's fine, no problem. You want to stick a nail in my eye? Oh, yeah, go ahead, no problem. Bring it on. I mean, come on. Realistically, no hope for that. It's an idiotic, silly solution. It's a non-solution. You cannot eradicate the nature of the beast. And it's silly to even try to. The simple solution is to quit making beasts. It's not complicated. So anyway, so that was just bogus. Alright, then he also uses the same sloppy rhetoric. Somewhere in there he says something like, we're just killing all life, or some other kind of bullshit. And now, again, it's called antinatalism. I mean, can't people get natalism? Ugh. You know, just quit making more. So anyway, so of course I'm an extremist, because I take the philosophy to its rational, logical conclusion, and I'll take responsibility for the fact that it ain't going to happen through some sort of, let's all suggest to each other that we be nicer people, and that'll solve the problem. We'll just let everybody do whatever they want still. We'll just suggest a better world. We'll suggest to the takers and the selfish fucks that they shouldn't be. I mean, come on. You know, some of this ain't going to happen. You want a better world tomorrow, you're going to have to do a little bit of turning of the screws, okay? It ain't going to happen by just hands off. Let's just talk about a better world. We've been there, done that. It's failed all over the place. Okay, your whole Buddhism thing is a perfect example of that. This benign, fucktarded religion that says do nothing. I mean, has no prescriptions whatsoever. I think some of it's gotten lost in interpretation anyway. I don't think I don't think Buddha was talking about suffering. I think suffering in his view was a different kind of thing. I think it was the wanting, I think, was more what he was talking about. Because you really can't destroy the mechanism of pain and unpleasant sensation. It's just not that easy to disconnect from that. No, I don't have anything for you right now. Come on, shoo, tattle, scuttle, and such. Wanting. He's a wanter also. So, I don't know if there's any point in playing any of this. But yeah, they just people just don't get it. They keep talking about, okay, well, part of the world is not reproducing. Yeah, exactly, right? So we're already halfway there, in the sense that civilized countries, most of the people born in those countries don't have kids anymore. So it's only a minority of people that are having all the kids. So, right there, this whole kind of, this argument that it can't happen is kind of bullshit, because we see it can happen. And the real obstacle is the only people really still having kids in idiotic numbers are people that are ignorant. But they're not ignorant because they haven't gone to school. They're ignorant because they live in societies that control information and prevent them from being anything else. They're indoctrinated into a silly culture based on silly dogmas that make absolutely no sense. And then the suggestion that there's a responsible alternative is to not to natal when you can't take care of these kids, isn't even provided. So they don't need a big education. They just need a little education to get this shit right. To get realistic about what life is. That's fixable. But the bottom line is, again, you're just contriving an excuse for this. Let's say there's 1,000 different cultures on planet Earth, human cultures right now. There could be 10,000. There could be 10 million different forms of human and different ways of living. Yes, some of us could eat bugs for dinner. He suggested that's what we should be doing. These people obsessed with protein. Your body doesn't run on protein. Your body makes protein. All you need is calories, and you can get that a lot of different ways. I won't go into all that crap, but geez, people. Look at this. While I would be tempted to call antinatalism complete bullcrap, not all antinatalists are fanatics like the efilists. Again, fanatics. Fanatics based on what? What's the? Where is there some logical disconnect? Where's the? You're going to call somebody a fanatic? Well, then you have to say, like, okay, that word should be really reserved to somebody who is doing the UFO thing, or doing the Bible literally thing. It's just kind of stupid to say it's fanatical to take something to its logical conclusion. Once you've accepted that this is a DNA molecule replicating itself, and that everything we are is a contrivance, just little add-ons thrown on, little armaments, little bits of armor and weaponry to fight in a stupid arena, a coliseum. Right? The coliseum is dead, right? It's just an artifact now. There's no crowd screaming. There's no blood gushing. None of that's happening anymore. Is the world less rich because it's gone? And that's my argument to use. The logical conclusion is just so obvious. We don't need the 10,000 human cultures that don't exist. We don't miss them. We're not saying, oh, the people who eat, shark brain moose, don't exist. I really miss them. The fucktards who believe in the moon god. Oh, I really miss them. No, I don't. None of us are missable. And all of this is just a perception of your attachment, your lack of Buddha perspective here, and not just recognizing that the only reason it needs to exist is because you generate a need. You're not reflecting a real need that's in the world. Okay? Like when something's in harm's way that can be harmed, it's a real need you're appreciating. It's a real circumstance that needs fixing. You're contriving a harm. You're contriving that there's some sort of negative here that just doesn't exist. It only exists in your silly perception. It's as silly and as meaningless as, somebody rooting for their Olympic hero to win his 5th gold medal. It's just as empty and vacant. It's a contrivance of your brain, all right? It's not a reflection of a reality. There will be no harm. There will be no catastrophe. There will be no negative occurrence if your beloved human becomes the Colosseum, becomes an artifact of the history of planet Earth. It just doesn't need to be here. Again, I mean, if you're realistic about what we are, we're imperfect animals. We're Frankensteins. We're troubled. We're tormented. We carry burdens, fetters, injuries, scars. There's just no need to make more of them. To say, let's keep perpetuating its existence. Let's keep pumping zombie blood, into the body. It just isn't. And I'm not a fanatic because I draw that obvious, logical conclusion based on the evidence that we have. And the only way you can contrive some justification for your fanatical attachment is to contrive something, is to make up some kind of story, some sort of silly narrative that humans are accomplishing something, that they're serving some kind of function or purpose, that they're mitigating against some kind of negative. And they're not. They're not a doorstop. They're not anything. They're a useless thing. They're not even a toaster. We're absolutely of no functional function. So yeah. No, I won't bother playing this video. Yeah, that's enough of a video. And such. It's all just silly fail. And whatnot.